Okay, so what if I told you the scariest thing about Halloween, right? What if I told you it wasn't Michael Myers?
Oh, this is good. I like where this is going.
Right. What if I told you it was like a catchy jingle
Okay.
and like a Silver Shamrock?
Well, then we'd be talking about Halloween the 3rd, Season of the Witch.
Exactly.
Hmm.
That's what we're diving into today.
Love it.
This cult classic, this movie that was like, you know what? Screw Michael Myers. We're doing our own thing. We're ditching the mask and we're carving our own path. And you've given me some fascinating material on this.
It's such a fascinating film. It really is. It's one of those ones that kind of gets under your skin, makes you think twice about those mass-produced Halloween masks every time you see them.
For sure, from what I'm seeing,
Yeah.
this movie does not hold back. Like, we're dealing with, like, this mysterious corporation. We've got, like, these seriously creepy commercials and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
And that's just the tip of the pumpkin, as they say. But let's unpack this mystery, figure out what makes Halloween the 3rd tick, and why, decades later, it's still sparking debates among horror fans.
All right, so to set the stage, Halloween the 3rd drops us right into the heart of October in Northern California.
Beautiful scenery, always a good start.
Right. So we got Harry Grimbridge. He's this man on the run. And get this, he has a Halloween mask in hand.
Never a good sign.
Never a good sign.
Right.
Meanwhile, we've got Dr. Chalice, and he's dealing with, how do we put this? A very strange death at the hospital, and like everywhere they turn, it's Silver Shamrock this, Silver Shamrock that. It's inescapable.
Talk about a marketing blitz, right?
Seriously.
This Silver Shamrock Corporation, though, it always struck me less about Halloween fun and more, well, how do we put this? Sinister.
What is the deal with this company?
Good question. So at the helm, we have Connell Cochran. And let's just say the man has a vision. He's built this mysterious factory in Santa Mira, which, if you didn't know, is a town steeped in, get this, ancient Celtic lore. Even the town itself feels off, like it operates under a different set of rules.
Oh, that's creepy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Ancient rituals, a spooky factory town. This Cochrane guy, he sounds like he's brewing something wicked. What's he up to?
He's definitely got a plan, that's for sure. And it's one that, let's just say, it blends ancient traditions with some, well, cutting-edge technology. Now, this isn't your typical, run-of-the-mill slasher villain. Cochrane, he's a businessman, he's a manipulator, and he's using something as, well, seemingly innocent as Halloween masks to achieve his goal.
Hold on, Halloween masks. We're talking about like the things kids wear for trick-or-treating. How does that tie into ancient rituals?
You're asking the right question. See, remember that news report kind of playing in the background at the beginning of the film? The one about Stonehenge?
Wait, Stonehenge like the Stonehenge?
The one and only. Somehow, Cochrane got his hands on a piece of it,
Whoa.
and he believes it holds the key to his plan. He has his workers chipping away at it, embedding tiny fragments into microchips.
Microchip.
Yeah, and guess where those microchips end up? Every single Silver Shamrock mask.
So these aren't your average Halloween masks. These are, what, like weapons?
Precisely. Cochrane's plan. It's a doozy. He's going to use these Stonehenge fragments combined with this advanced technology to trigger a mass sacrifice.
What?
Yeah. On Halloween night, when all those masks are activated.
Activated how?
By a signal broadcast through, get this, the Silver Shamrock commercial.
No way. That's messed up. Talk about a killer marketing campaign, right?
Hey, yeah.
But what's this guy's end game? Why target Halloween? Why go through all this trouble?
Cochrane, he's obsessed with reviving these ancient Celtic traditions, no matter the cost. He fancies himself some kind of, I don't know, modern-day druid wielding technology to achieve his, well, let's face it, twisted goals. It's this chilling blend of old and new, and it speaks to the film's commentary, on the dangers of unchecked ambition and, of course, the seductive power of mass media.
So it's not just a horror movie. It's like a commentary on consumerism and like the influence of technology and all that.
Exactly. It makes you think about how corporations market to us, especially around holidays, Halloween being no exception. And this film, well, it takes that to a terrifying extreme.
Okay, so we've got Cochrane. He's got this sinister plan. He's got these creepy masks. Where does Dr. Chalice fit into all of this? He seems to be the only one who suspects that something is, wrong.
Well, Charles, he kind of becomes an accidental detective and all this, stumbling deeper and deeper into this conspiracy as he goes. He's the one who starts to connect the dots between Silver Shamrock, these strange deaths, and of course the town of Santa Mira itself.
It sounds like this guy's in over his head. What kind of horrors await him in this town?
Ah, Santa Mara, it's not your typical small town, that's for sure. The atmosphere there, it's thick with this sense of dread, and the residents, they all seem, well, off, almost robotic in their behavior.
It's like the Twilight Zone, where everything seems normal on the surface, but underneath, there's this sinister undercurrent going on.
You hit the nail on the head. See, Chalice and Ellie, she's the daughter of Harry Grimbridge, remember him from the beginning? They find themselves caught in this web of, well, unsettling encounters, to say the least. There's this creaky motel owner, a family on a factory tour, even a wandering drunk who warns them about Cochrane, all while, mind you, people around them start dying in, well, increasingly bizarre ways.
Okay, now things are getting interesting. What kind of strange deaths are we talking about here? And how do these deaths tie back into Silver Shamrock?
Well, let's just say one motel guest suffers a particularly gruesome fate involving, of all things, insects. And the town drunk? He doesn't meet a very pleasant end either. Each death is more unsettling than the last, and Chalice, well, he's running out of time to stop it.
This is giving me the chills.
Yeah.
This is like straight out of a nightmare, especially with those Halloween masks at the center of it all.
Yeah.
How does Chalice even begin to fight back against something like this?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Well, Chalice, you got to feel for the guy, right? He's a man of science.
Right.
And yet he finds himself in this situation that defies, logic and explanation. He tries to warn the authorities desperately.
Of course, yeah.
But they dismiss him. They think he's paranoid.
Right.
His claims are just outlandish.
Classic horror movie trope, right?
Absolutely.
Like, no one believes the protagonist till it's too late.
Exactly. It plays on that fear, the fear of not being believed, the fear of being powerless to stop something truly awful from happening. But while all that's going on, Chalice, he's trying to piece together this puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Desperately searching for a way to stop Cochrane.
And what about Ellie? We haven't talked about her in a bit. What's her role in all of this? Because remember, she was like dead set on finding her father at the start of this whole thing.
That's where Halloween the 3rd throws, let's just say, another curveball, right?
Okay.
Remember how I mentioned how those residents of Santa Mira, they all acted a little robotic?
Uh-huh.
It turns out that Cochrane, he's created these incredibly lifelike androids.
What?
And Ellie, she's one of them.
Get out of here.
No.
So the Ellie that we've been following this whole time, she's not even human.
Nope.
That adds a whole other layer to this whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. It blurs those lines between reality, artificiality. It makes you question, who can you trust? What's real? It also speaks to Cochrane's, well, God complex, right?
Right.
His desire to control not just life, but death itself.
He's playing with forces beyond his understanding, man. This is getting deep.
Oh, it is.
It's fascinating how, like, Halloween the 3rd, it's doing all this. It's tackling these big themes: technology, consumerism, even our relationship with tradition and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a horror film.
Exactly. And that's why it stays with you long after you've seen it. It's prompting these late night conversations about the nature of reality and what truly scares us.
For sure.
But, going back to Chalice, the clock is ticking for this guy. Halloween night, it's fast approaching, and he knows if he doesn't stop Cochrane, all those children wearing those silver shamrock masks, they're doomed.
So what does he do? I mean, how do you stop a madman like Cochrane? This plan is, like, so meticulous.
Well, Chalice, in let's just say a desperate move, he manages to infiltrate the factory.
Oh.
Now, this factory, it's a beacon of eerie automation.
Well, I bet.
Cold industrial horror. It really is.
Yeah.
And what Chalice discovers inside, well, it's both fascinating and horrifying at the same time.
Okay.
It's really a testament, I think, to the film's visual storytelling.
Yeah.
How it creates this palpable sense of dread, of unease.
So does he do it? Does he stop Cochrane?
He manages to destroy the factory in a climactic showdown, but
Uh-oh. But?
the victory is short-lived.
Oh, no.
He can't contact the TV networks in time
No.
to stop that deadly Silver Shamrock commercial from airing.
Oh, my God.
The film ends with Chalice,
Yeah.
utterly defeated.
Wow.
Watching in horror as the signal begins to broadcast, he knows it's too late.
Man, talk about a punch to the gut. That's bleak.
It is.
Even for a horror film,
Yeah.
it leaves you with this lingering sense of dread. Like, there's no happy resolution. There's no last-minute save.
There isn't. And it's unconventional, right?
So-
Especially for a film that was marketed as, part of the Halloween franchise.
Right.
But that's what's so fascinating about Halloween the 3rd. It subverts those expectations. It challenges the audience and it sticks with you long after the credits have rolled.
It really has. But I gotta say, it's kind of refreshing to see a horror movie that, that takes some risks, tries something different.
Absolutely, and it paid off, in its own way.
It really did. So for anyone out there who hasn't seen this movie or maybe dismissed it in the past, what would you say to them? What would you say to encourage them to, give Halloween the Third a chance?
Oh man, I would say go in with an open mind. Don't expect, Michael Myers. Don't expect your typical slasher tropes. This is a different beast entirely. Like we said, this is a film that blends horror, science fiction, a little bit of social commentary in there. It's thought-provoking, it's unsettling, it's a trip.
And be prepared to have that Silver Shamrock jingle stuck in your head for days.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you've been warned. But in all seriousness, Halloween the Third, Season of the Witch. It's a film that deserves to be seen. It deserves to be discussed. It deserves to be debated. It's a reminder that horror, it can be more than just jump scares. It can be more than just gore. It can be a reflection of our anxieties, our fears, the darker aspects of our own society.
Beautifully said. I think that's a perfect place to wrap up our deep dive into Halloween the Third Season of the Witch.
Huh?
A film that dared to be different. A film that still resonates with audiences, all these years later. And a film that reminds us to always question what's lurking beneath the surface,
Ah,
especially on Halloween.
especially on Halloween.
And on that note, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the movies you love.